What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the show, folks. What a day it has been so far. It's almost 1 p.m. over here on the East Coast. We have a lot to cover, a lot of information to cover. We have massive news that came out today from the Ripple camp. They announced the BNY partnership for the RLUSD stablecoin, which is massive. We have Brad testifying as well. We have the price of XRP going on a nice little ripper. We have Bitcoin flipping into bullish territory. This is going to be one of the most bullish videos you have ever listened to. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Bitcoin currently up about 1%, coming in at $109,318. Ethereum up 3.45, coming in at 2,661. And XRP, yeah, buddy, it's leading the pack up over 4%, coming in at a meanly $2.38. Remember that key number to get above was 235. We are currently above it. Obviously, we are looking for that close tonight above that key number. But you know what? If XRP wants to run right now to 247, 250, it has nothing in its way stopping it. I don't think this pump is over. I think it's going to last into tonight. Remember, the live stream is at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, folks, I showed you this in the first video of the day. And what did you do? You came out and you smashed that like button. And what did that video do? Well, it only did over 10,000 in 5 hours. Those are absolutely amazing numbers. Thank you, each and every single one of you. You know what to do. Hit that thumbs up. Let's keep on growing and let's keep on going viral. Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about BNY. They have over 53 trillion in assets under management. So the world's largest custodian bank, BNY Mellon, you guessed it. They are a top global custodian and security service provider, safeguarding assets for institutions, corporations, and governments worldwide. Yes, you heard that correctly. Governments worldwide. What do they excel in? Well, investment, wealth management, treasury services. To talk about XRP being in treasuries, we know about 8 currently. Well, BNY Mellon, that's what they're good at, treasury services. And don't forget, securities clearing, serving over 90% of Fortune 100 companies and the top pension plans. Now, think about the Hidden Road partnership and tie that into Ripple and what they're doing, the acquisition, and BNY Mellon is a massive, massive partner clearing agent for Hidden Roads. There's a lot of pieces coming together here, folks. As of March 31st of this year, BNY held over 53 trillion in custody. That's an increase it's an increase from 52.1 to 53.1. You love to see it, right? So in a matter of 3 months, they had the increase. BNY Investments is over 2 trillion as of Q1. Now, let's talk about the partnership here. Let's talk about what is actually going on. Well, not only is this going to give Ripple a major institutional credibility boost since one of the oldest US banks and one of the world's top custodians are a partner. I don't know partner is the right word. We're all working with Ripple to hold reserves backing its stablecoin. If you want to talk about USDT and USDC and RLUSD, we're putting all three of these on a level playing field, folks. They are going to battle for market space, for market cap. There will be a battle of the three. Maybe down the line is only two because Ripple buys out Circle and USDC fully comes onto the XRP ledger. Time will tell. But this partnership right here, it sends a powerful signal. RLUSD isn't just a crypto experiment. It is being built with institutional grade trust, everyone. BNY Mellon is already a custodian for Circle, and now they are custodian for Ripple, positioning itself as the go-to bank for stablecoin issuance. And you know what? At the end of the day, everything will be moved through Hidden Road. Now, in the evolving, it's pretty much shaping up to be a stablecoin summer. Legacy financial institutions are increasingly embracing blockchain-based money, making these relationships a strategic differentiator. Now, Brad Garlinghouse, if you didn't catch it, well, he was on CNBC today right as the news dropped. Talk about perfect timing. Let's listen to this, then get into the regulations and the regulatory alignment behind this as well.
That it's partnering with BNY for BNY to be its primary custodian for its stablecoin. Joining us first on CNBC, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. Wow, that's a nice shot, Brad. It suits you well. You're looking very, very even presidential almost. Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Good to be back on Squawk Box.
You need a custodian for your stablecoin. Why BNY?
Well, look, I think as the crypto industry has emerged from kind of the last administration where the industry was being attacked, working with the most trusted, the most well-regulated, and even the best capitalized partners is a way to continue to build trust in this system. And stablecoins at their core, by their nature, it's a dollar backed with a dollar in deposits. BNY Mellon has, for a very long time been amongst the most trusted partners out there for as a custody bank. So we're really pleased. We think it's indicative of the shift of tide where we've had headwinds for this industry are now becoming tailwinds. And I think we're going to see a lot of growth.
I mean, all the way back to that duel, I think, right? Is that Bank of New York? I think, yeah, Alexander Hamilton. It goes back a ways, doesn't it?
That one goes way back. I didn't put a number out there because I wasn't sure how many years it's been. But the BNY Mellon, we feel very lucky to be partnered with them. And we think, again, building trust for the whole industry and having RLUSD, our stablecoin, which just passed $500 million of market cap. We launched only about 6 months ago. So we're really pleased with that trend line and feel like this will only continue to build that trust.
It's small compared to some of your competitors, though, at this point. How does that factor into how you approach the whole stablecoin industry?
So the stablecoin industry is about $250 billion today. Many people think it'll be between 1 and 2 trillion in a handful of years. The growth behind it has been profound. We joined the market kind of late, partly because we were using stablecoins in our payment flows for our institutional customers. As you probably know, Ripple at its core has been a payments company and solving a cross-border payments problem. We use stablecoins, we use XRP where it makes sense. And stablecoins, when we were using that, we were a big part of activity for us. We were minting a lot, and we thought we can participate in this market, given our institutional background, given the fact we've leaned into compliance and been very regulated. We have over 60 global licenses to participate in these markets. So we feel like the growth ahead will serve us well as we continue to serve that.
All right, let's talk about that. 60 global licenses. Let's tie all this in together, folks, and let's bring this home. Because what I think is going to be the most explosive catalyst for XRP and honestly, for the entire digital asset space. Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CEO, he's made it crystal clear. Real banks are starting to use the XRP ledger. And if they use the XRP ledger, they use XRP. When I first got into this space, this was a dream. I dreamed of the day that banks and financial institutions were going to use the XRP ledger and XRP. That was my end goal. And I knew back in 2017, if I was right, I was going to be right in a very big way. This is now happening in real time with real institutions moving real value across borders. Now, think about what this means. When banks start leveraging the XRP ledger for payments, settlements, and tokenizations, we're not just talking about potential anymore. We're talking about actual on-chain utility. And as that utility ramps up, so does the demand for XRP. This isn't hype. It's the playbook we've seen play out in other markets. Utility-driven demand is what separates short-term pumps from true long-term price appreciation. If one major bank integrates, others are going to follow, folks. Nobody wants to be left behind. This network effect could turn XRP from a speculative asset into the heartbeat of institutional payments. And in my view, that is the real game changer, not just for XRP, but for the entire future of blockchain finance. So keep your eyes open. The narrative is shifting from if to when. And now it's going to how big is this really going to be? I believe we are right on the cusp of something massive. And those paying attention now are setting themselves up for the next big move. Folks, tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the live stream. As always, if you found value here, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you ready for banks to drive the next XRP breakout? I'll see everyone tonight on the live show.